What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Rodin, and today, sorry, gotta get comfortable. Today it's raining pretty badly, so I desperately have to go to the doctors to get a little checkup. I gotta get my checkup. No, in reality, I have actually something going on with my stomach. I haven't felt good for the past like 2 weeks. Something's going on there, so I'm gonna go there and get it figured out, hopefully. But either way, today's video is a question, and I'm gonna provide the answer. The question: is the car scene dying? Because I've been in the car scene since I was around, I would say, 16 years old. I'm 23 now, so that's what, 7 years. Wow, it feels crazy, but yeah, I'm 7 years into the car scene, I would say. I really hope you guys can hear me and the rain isn't too loud, but yeah, anyway, I'm 7 years into the car scene, and I know a good amount, I would say, about the world of cars, and I've seen it come and go. And so we're gonna get into the reason why I believe that the car scene is dying. I think it 100%, without a doubt, is dying off slowly but surely, and I'm gonna get into why. Whoever invented water, God bless you. But either way, let's get right into it. The first reason why I believe that the car scene is dying is that people just don't chill anymore. People refuse to just like relax and have a good time that way, like have a little kickback or something. It just doesn't happen. You have like some cars and coffees nowadays, but even then it's like people leave cars and coffees and go a little crazy when they're leaving. It's like all this idea that you have to be acting crazy everywhere that you go with your car is not good for the car community, I would say. Like, you just gotta chill out sometimes, man. Just have a good time, sit there, and just enjoy the cars. You don't have to go around and see the cars being used. Like, obviously, yeah, it's cool to see like a modified car push itself to the limits, but if you want to see that, go to the track. Go to the track, and that you'll be perfectly fine. You don't have to watch it at a car meet. It's just not, you don't need to do that. Relax, have a good time with your car. Don't risk everybody else's life because you want to have fun. I just think it's absolutely detrimental to the community. Next is that people are glorifying the wrong things about the car community. We used to, back in the day, like, we used to glorify the relaxed nature of the accepting everybody, and like everybody's a part of it, and there's so many people, look how many people there are that like cars. Like, that's what we used to like kind of glorify, is that we were such a massive community full of so many different people and different cars from all around the world that we could talk to each other and all like each other. But over time, what we glorify is completely different now. It's, oh, who has the most expensive car, who has the fastest car in a straight line, that who can cut up in traffic the best, who goes to the most takeovers. Like, that's what people glorify now. And then running away from the police, like that whole quiet plate thing that's going on. Like, everybody wants a quiet plate for their freaking car. Dude, are you kidding? You're killing the community. All you're doing is making the cops hate us more, making them crack down on us more, and they're just gonna put more and more strict laws on our cars. Sooner or later, it's gonna be all, the rest of the world is gonna be like California, where you can't even have an exhaust that is too loud, because the cops are gonna give you a ticket for it. It's ridiculous. This whole running from the cops and being a nuisance to the rest of the world is very bad, guys, for the community. It's bad for any community. Imagine if bicyclists started going out and freaking running up to cops and smacking their windows and doing motorized burnouts somehow. It would be wild, you know, it would be chaos. But nobody else does that except for car guys, and it's not good, man. It's not good. Next is that the prices. No, you know what, we're gonna stick back with that again. You know how earlier on I said that like the community used to be very welcoming? Like, you could be in any kind of car, any kind of build, and the community would, for the most part, be like, yeah, you're a car guy. Well, nowadays that's not the case. You have to meet like a certain community standards. The biggest one is obviously the stance community. The stance community is ridiculous. I mean, you have to have like, oh my god, there's a bumper, there's a grill to like a truck on the ground. But yeah, you have to have like a freaking $5,000 real wheels, and you have to have the best fitment in the world, and real Type R parts if you want to be an Integra boy. It's the stance community has become just a group of idiots that sit there all day and your car doesn't have $5,000 wheels, you're not a part of it. It's not, you don't even want to be a part of a crowd like that, to be honest, so don't worry, like, you're not missing out on anything. But either way, it's ridiculous now that the community's gone that way. Back in the day, the stance community did not care. You do whatever you wanted to do. If you had a stance car, they liked it. They were happy. They were like, let's go, your car's lowered, yippee, come with us. Anyway, the next biggest issue in the car community, I would say, that's killing it, is there's a horsepower war going on, which, in my opinion, has never once in any car history been good. We went through a little bit of a horsepower war in the 90s, and it wasn't good. We went through a horsepower war in the 60s with America. It wasn't good. And now we're going through another one right now, where every car has to have the highest horsepower or else your car is not worthy. All that does is make for the car community to be incredibly streamlined. You know, you have the same cookie cutter builds all over the place. Nobody tries anything new because they're worried that if their car doesn't reach the horsepower quota, that they're not going to be accepted, that people aren't going to like them. So all they do is they buy B58 BMWs, and then they put a downpipe on it and they tune it, and it makes 700, 800 horsepower, and then they call themselves different and unique. And then they might add a trunk lip on the back of it and be like, oh, now my car is different. It's ridiculous. It's all these. I don't really care if the builds are the same. My 350Z has a duck bill on it, for God's sake, okay? My build is not like different or unique than anybody else's build. But the thing is, this idea that horsepower is the only thing that matters when building a car is horrible. Especially when you, like when I bought this Integra, yeah, the B series that's in this Integra can make a lot of horsepower. If I wanted to make decent horsepower on this car, I totally could. But I didn't even buy it with that intent anyway. I bought it with the intent of driving it fast on back roads. So a lot of the time, you don't even really need horsepower for the thing that you're going for. If you're I've seen stance guys put like turbos in their builds that have like -10 degrees of camber, and it's like, that is a waste of money because your car is not going to utilize that horsepower. You have 10 degrees of camber. It's ridiculous. Not everybody has to have, but then the horsepower guys too, like the guys that do like horsepower, they don't understand that there's other parts of the community, and so they'll see like a Stance 350Z and they'll be like, oh, your car's slow. It's like, of course it's slow. It's not meant to be fast. The guy has it stanced. You think he cares that it's slow? It's, oh my God, people gotta get over themselves. People gotta realize if you like horsepower and going fast in a straight line, that's great, but stick to the guys that also like horsepower and going fast in a straight line, because if not, you're just gonna freaking hurt all these other people that don't care about it. But the next reason why I think why I think the car community is going down, and this is honestly probably the biggest contributing factor to the car community decline in the past couple of years, TikTok. Oh my God, dude. TikTok is a breeding ground of morons. Every single one of them. Every single freaking person on TikTok that makes these TikTok videos of all this stupid... everything that I've said so far that like brings like a bad name to the car community is glorified, is talked about, is put out there the most on TikTok. It all comes from TikTok. Takeovers, this clout chasing idea, the horsepower war, the hate on like anybody that isn't in your certain niche, the idea that you have to have a certain type of build to join the community. It all comes from TikTok. The amount of times I've seen people like in serious arguments on TikTok over the stupidest thing. Oh my God, dude, it's so dumb. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I have a TikTok. I have 190,000 followers on TikTok. I'm super happy with that. I make a decent amount of money on TikTok monthly. But even I want TikTok to just be wiped off the face of the earth, dude. Because it is nothing but a distraction. It is so bad, dude. The people on that app are just morons. And 90% of them don't even have a car. And then the 10% that do have a car are hating with like, and you can very clearly tell that their lives are miserable. Like they have no friends, and they might have a wife, but he doesn't love that wife. And you can just tell that their lives are just, oh my God, so sad. But you're supposed to still like believe what they say. There used to be this guy, I'm not even gonna name his name, but we all know who I'm talking about. If you know TikTok car community, you know who I'm talking about. He had this BMW E46 and it was slammed on the ground. And his whole personality was just, I hate people. And then people agreed with him because there's just so many loser people in the world that literally have no friends and nobody to talk to, that they freaking can go out there and make up their whole personality that they don't like people and that everybody else is an idiot and everybody else is bad. Man, I'm grumpy. And then they'll get other grumpy weirdos to follow them along, and it was the saddest thing ever. It was just the most depressing moment of, luckily he's been exposed as a pedophile since, of course he was, so he's kind of fallen off the face of the earth, but still, it was a little bit of a wild run there for a little bit. All those guys that followed him too are acting like they didn't support a loser pedophile now. Screw TikTok, get off TikTok if you think the car community is horrible. But then the last thing that I think is contributing to the car community dying, and this is another massive one, is the prices. Oh my god, the prices of every car are just ridiculous. Miatas are hard to find under 5K nowadays. Hard to find under 5K. They used to be under 1K. Literally. S13s used to be under $3,000. It's hard to find them under 5K now. 350Zs are getting to the $10,000 range. That's ridiculous. I bought mine for 5K. This Integra was $3,000. These used to be $1,000. Car prices for not only just the cars themselves, but for parts for the cars are flying up. And then on top of that, you have gas prices flying up. You have the cost of maintenance for all these cars flying up. It's just, it's unaffordable for a lot of people now. It's ridiculous. And especially for like, let's face it, a lot of us like to get into the car community at the youngest age possible. We usually find out that we love cars around the age of like 10 to 13, I would say. And then for the next couple of years, we're just dreaming about that day that we can first buy a car and first drive a car. And then when 16 finally rolls around, you finally get that freedom to buy your first car, to drive your first car, to go wherever you want to go to Taco Bell with your boys if you want, go to a party with a bunch of hot girls if you want, but you can do it in your car. And you're happy, you're excited, you want to do that. Well, for car guys, it's even wild, it's even crazier for us because we love cars. We don't just love the freedom that cars give us to go and drive places, but we love the car itself. We love everything that's inside of it. And now imagine you're told when you turn 16 that you can't even get a cool car because all the cool cars out there are way too overpriced. And you have to wait another 2 years until you turn 18 and you've saved up enough money to buy a car that you actually want. And then even then, you turn 18 and you're thinking to yourself, is it even worth buying this car? Because I mean, I have $5,000. I could use this $5,000 to maybe buy a house or buy an apartment with my friends or something like that. Get my life started. Or I can use this $5,000 to buy the car I want. And now the price, and now it's like, now you're in another bit of a kerfuffle. And that's what I'm going through right now. I have a lot of money in my right now in life, but I don't know if I should buy a cool car or if I should buy a house. I'm leaning towards buying a house, but still, like, I want to buy another cool car, and it's tough. And then on top of that, parts. And everybody, like I said, everybody wants you to buy real, genuine wheels. And so if you really do want to buy real, genuine wheels, you're looking at the price of another car again. Literally. There's wheels out there that are real. Blitz 03 is running for $10,000. $10,000. I didn't even spend $10,000 on both my cars. I have a 5K 350Z and a 3K Integra. That's $8,000. I didn't even spend $10,000 on both my cars, and they want me to spend $10,000 on a set of wheels? It's ridiculous. The price is crazy, and it's unaffordable for so many people out there. I'm like, I know somebody's gonna be like, oh, get your money up. Dude, listen, I make good money. I have enough money to buy a cool car and buy those wheels if I wanted to, but it's not a good financial decision on my part. Getting my money up does not include spending it on stupid things that don't make any sense. A $10,000 S14 is not a necessity, you know. It's not something that I should buy. It's not something that's going to make me money in the long run. It won't. And so it's just, it's really crazy. It's a hard hobby to get into. Luckily, we do have some other sources of like enjoyment in the car community. Number one being like video games, obviously. Number two being like you can go to like if you have a track that's close to you, you can go to track days, you can watch people have fun, you can go to events and stuff like that. But like I said before, I mean, since the car scene is dying, these events are also dying out, so it's kind of tough to do that as well. Is that another Integra? No, it's not. It's a weird like little Corolla thing. But yeah, the car community is dying. Oh my goodness. Okay, I thought that guy was gonna get hit. And so all these events are dying, and since all these events are dying, it's like kind of ruining. It's like car guys don't have much else to do now, you know. It's hard to find things, especially if you're not a I almost said a bad word. Especially if you're not an idiot and don't like going to takeovers and like cutting up and all that stupid stuff. If you don't like that stuff, then there really is not a lot for you to do in the car community. But we're running on 15 minutes long now, so I'm gonna probably stop the video here. I pretty much talked about it all, but yeah, I do believe the car scene is dying. It's not the same as it was back in 2016 when I got in. Everybody was accepting, everybody was happy, everything was fresh and new. The events were awesome, the people were awesome. And then TikTok came out, and now that TikTok's out, everybody's raising up the prices of cars that they see one TikTok on and they want. I understand that I do contribute to that. I know I do, and so I would like to say I'm sorry. I make videos of cheap cars and people want to go buy those cheap cars, but at the same time it is happening. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. If you are ever like feeling like depressed about the car community and feel like you want to get out of the car community and you feel like it's not worth it, I truly do recommend getting off of social media. I feel like most of the problems stem back to social media. In real life, car guys are usually very accepting, are very fun to be around, and it's just a great time. Find yourself a car guy group of friends, go to events with them, go do things with them, and you're gonna have a fun time. I don't think, you know, looking at TikToks all day is a good idea for you to get in or out of the car community, because it's just not an accurate representation of what the car community is going to be like in real life. So also keep in mind, guys, always think about this whenever you're seeing like some sort of hate video on the internet, whether it doesn't even have to be about the car community in general, just a hate video about anything. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a negative video, just think about the guy that made that video. Is he happy or is he sad? Because most likely he's sad with his life, he's depressed with his life, he's a weirdo, he's a loser, he's a bum. And so he's making this hate video to try and bring other people down with him, and so that he can see the rest of the world be as angry as him, so it's justified, and so that he doesn't feel like as big of a loser. That's what they're doing. I promise that is it. So try not to, like I said, that guy that we were talking about before with the BMW that it was slammed on the ground and he was like hating on every single build in the community, he turned out to be a pedophile who had like no friends. Of course he was, because that's usually how they are. So just, you know, keep that in mind when looking at those things. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. I'm going to the doctors and I'm so nervous. I hate the doctors. I'm like a little kid. Okay, I'm like 5 years old. I don't like the doctors at all. It scares me. But I'm going to one of those. So wish me luck. Hopefully I'll survive. And das vidanya. Have a nice night.